Hello everyone, it has been a long time since my last video. There are many reasons for that, but obviously some personal things happened in the last year plus of my life, and I didn't have really the energy to sit down and record videos for this YouTube channel. Sometimes things are difficult, and having two other jobs, it's not always manageable to sit down in front of a camera and record stuff. So I apologize for the delay in producing content because I have still received many messages appreciating my videos and even personal messages asking for advice, and that makes me always happy. It really tells me that I should keep doing this. And so today I decided that it was a good day to actually sit down and talk about the current state of things of the visual effects animation industry versus AI problem, as well as giving you some pointers. Now, as some of you know, I don't just work in production. I also have my own business where I do commercial work, filmmaking, commercials, and things like this. And I also teach at the university. So I keep myself pretty busy. And this YouTube channel is for me just a way to give back to all the people that maybe don't have the chance to get to go to a school, spend a lot of money and learn a lot of things. But even amongst my students, there is a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions on what they should do at this point in time. So I'll try to answer that, hoping that what I have to say will help somebody in taking a decision and possibly moving forward with this career. Now, I do have some notes here just because this is a complex talk. It's a difficult topic because there is emotions involved and there is future and investments involved as well. And so I tried very hard to think what would be a good way of reaching those of you that are taking a decision without sounding too naive or without sounding too cliche. Because it's easy to say a bunch of things on a YouTube channel, on a video, and then don't be in your own integrity and behaving differently outside in the world. And I see a lot of that today, which makes me very sad. Because I think that when you really have something to say to people, they really resonate with that. And that usually comes from competence and experience. So I will start from this point because I've been in this industry for over 20 years. Started in Italy, and I've done all sorts of things. I've done video editing at the time, I've done color grading, I've done compositing, I've done 3D in many different aspects of it, worked in movies, in commercials, in VR, whatever it's out there, you name it. Because where I come from the south of Italy, it's not easy to get a career in this job. And this certainly was a lot harder a long time ago. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I think sometimes we are a little bit too fast in thinking that we should get a job right after school, or that, there is a job waiting for you out there. Now on LinkedIn, I'm reading all sorts of messages about this visual effects industry and the animation industry. And there is a lot of negativity of people that are angry and upset and annoyed at companies and in general at the fact that they despise almost the industry and they don't advise young students to get into the industry. And I have very mixed feelings about that because I personally not a negative person. I always try to look at the better outcome because I don't think that looking at the worst or being so negative really gives you anything in life. You're just digging yourself a hole from which becomes harder and harder to get out, because really what happens in your life, it depends only on you. And yes, of course, there are circumstances around you that you have to face, but the reality is that you don't have control over that. And I know that you might have heard a lot of times that, you shouldn't worry about things you can't control, but it is actually extremely true, because either you worry about them or not, you're not gonna get anything back for worrying. If you don't worry, you can focus your energy on doing things that will give you a better chance of doing what you want to do. Alright, so I have a bunch of students that keep asking me, should I drop off? Should I just forget about visual effects? Should I just do something else? And to answer these questions is difficult, because really what you want to do, it's yours and it's for you to explore and understand. Are you sure that you want to do this? Is that what really drives you? Is that what really motivates you to be better? It is really what you see yourself doing for the majority of the day? Because this is what your job is gonna be. Whatever you decide to do, it is gonna be the majority of your life. At least at this stage in time, at this point in time, it is still like that. And it is important to understand that if you do a job that you don't like or that you don't love doing, it's very high chance that you will be miserable. It is very sad, I believe, because there is nothing more important than life than doing things that make you joyful. Pay attention, I didn't say happy, because happiness is an utopia. It depends usually on a short-term analysis of what you get. But joy is something that you can expand into your life on a daily basis and over a long period of time. And that is what makes you go through difficulty, and makes you go through discipline, and makes you go through facing the problems that come your way, because you have that sense of joy in you, that whatever comes doesn't matter, because you are happy when you're doing that thing. You feel joy about doing that thing. I have been very lucky in my career and in my life, because I knew very early, since I was 13, what I wanted to do. At first I wanted to become an animator, a traditional animator, so I was spending a lot of time drawing and trying to copy comics and Disney stuff. And then as I progressed into the 3D, because I saw a couple of movies and like Toy Story and Jurassic Park, and I moved into the visual effects and then animation industry, I always wanted to do that. I always been very happy to do that. It's not been easy. We didn't have these big industries in Italy, so you had to find a way to get yourself into the door. I didn't have the means to attend an expensive school, so I had to self-learn. I did the art academy because it was the closest thing to art that I could do, but it did not have anything to do with 3D. And this is important you understand that, because not everybody is in the same situation. Everybody has a different starting point, and depending on where you are in the world, that can be a heavy burden to carry. Although the industry has expanded a lot and now we have more opportunities than ever. Which brings me to today's market. Yes, it is hard today to find a job. It is hard not just for you junior guys that are just starting. It's also hard for more senior people. Why? Because there's been a contraction of the production cycle. The production cycle expanded out of control for a period of time, and then obviously that was not sustainable. So now there is a hard contraction. And so there is a lot of people in an industry that does not need them. Now, I have worked in this industry, as I said, for over 20 years, and I have never been out of job, thankfully, and I'm very grateful for that. But you cannot expect that to be the norm. There is all sorts of problems in all sorts of industry. And so going on LinkedIn and throwing away messages of negativity towards the industry as a whole, it's just very sad, in my opinion. I have worked in all sorts of companies, and people that know me know that for a fact. And there is companies that have more attention to the life-work balance, if such thing exists in your head, and other companies that have more attention to the well-being of the employees, and the other companies that just care about producing. It's up to you to find what you can tolerate and accept, and if not, move on to the next thing. And it's up to you to determine what is your boundary that you cannot let other people cross. But making blind statements as this industry is horrible, it sucks, or things like that, it's only spitting in the plate where you have eaten for so long, especially when I read it from people that have worked for many years. Now, it's true that after many years working in the industry, you get tired of some things, and it's true that the industry is not exactly an easy one. But I worked in many industries, and the creative industries are a tough game. They are all difficult because there is the creative component, and especially because of how the power of the studios has changed now in the movies industry. Can you sustain it? You only know. It's up to you. And I want to say to all of you that are watching this video, my students, people that are all over the world, do not listen to anybody that tells you not to do something, and not even to people that tell you to do something. Elaborate on what they are saying and try to understand why they are saying that, but do not act in fear, because it is your future that you are deciding on right now, and what you do is really gonna determine also partly how joyful and happy you will be in your life. So beware of people that are so negative and that puts you away from something that you currently love, because your situation might not be theirs. My situation is not the same as other people. I could have been lucky, but I also know that I put a lot of work in what I do. And I also know that I could have given up many times, but I did not. And today, my work has been the thing that I actually have held on when I had difficult times in other areas of my life, because I love doing it so much. And I honestly and truly hope for you guys to find something that you love so much and that makes you joyful across your entire life, so that you can really get into it and work the job that you love to do. Now, to get into a couple of AI specific things, I just want to say that currently this AI thing is a little bit of a scam. Yes, there is very high progress that is being made. There is some crazy things that are happening with videos made by AI and all commercials made by AI and whatnot. But I think there are two problems that we have to understand here. Number one, AI is not that accurate for creative endeavors right now, yet. It's good up until an average point, let's say below average even in some instances. After that, it's not good anymore. There is still no granularity, no control. You cannot art direct an AI the way you would art direct an artist. You cannot direct AI in the way you want it to do things, because it will still interpret what you are saying. And yes, you can make very complex prompts, but it's not the same as having an understanding with another artist. When I work with artists, I can talk about different arts, I can talk about different artists, I can make examples, and I can get on the same wavelength as them, and they can absorb that and then get the work done in the way I expect them to do their work. And plus they add their own to it, which in turn makes us both grow. AI right now is a very schematic thing. It's just a mixed puzzle of images that are spit out through some sort of algorithm, but you cannot control that. So if you are worried right now that AI is gonna take the job of an experienced or a competent visual effects or 3D artist, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Surely what it's gonna replace is some sort of average work. You can now make a commercial, and because of how social media is basically promoting communication with short clips and small videos and things like that, it is easier for an AI to do that kind of content because the attention span is so short that it doesn't matter if the quality is crappy. So ultimately, the AI is gonna take a lot of that kind of stuff. And those who need that kind of video obviously are gonna go for it because it's cheaper. A lot of times what I see from people commenting on stuff is a very biased thought towards their creative skills. But nobody really, or very few people really put themselves in the shoes of an entrepreneur that owns a business that is already hard to do and has to cope with costs and things like that. If my client wants a crappy video made by AI and is happy with that, why would I not give that to him if that makes me money? I don't do it because I want to create a better quality for what I do. It's a good way of thinking only until you can sell that, because a business is made to sell stuff. I can make the best, most beautiful things in the world. If nobody buys them, there is no business. All right, so I would love for you to think in these terms as well. If you were the owner of that business and people would buy that product but not the high quality product, what would you do? Right? So then you have to decide what you want to do with your skills and where you want to go, in what industry you want to go. But do not just think that right now all the 3D artists and all the visual effects artists are useless because AI taking their place. It's not like that. It's gonna take a fair amount of time, I think, before that happens, especially for bigger productions like a movie or a visual effects intensive movie or a 3D animation movie that is so complex to do. Sometimes I can see that people that are starting out don't really see the complexity of making a Lord of the Rings movie or a Toy Story movie. Like, they are complex product, and AI has no place in that kind of production just yet, because the amount of iterations that are done on a daily basis to just get to the result that we want and to keep the quality that high are enormous. So the tools are changing, the delivery is changing. Delivery means, where are we seeing this stuff? What are the markets of distribution of the products that we create? Now you watch most things on the phone. People don't go to the cinema as much, although it's still a great experience. Hollywood is in a crisis, and in general the production cycle is shrinking. So there are all these things that should make you question if the visual effects / animation industry is still viable. It is right to think in these terms. But what I'm gonna argue that point with is that learning 3D graphics is a multidisciplinary thing. You learn 3D graphics, you can do so many things in the world of 3D products. There is all sorts of markets for it. And also, as we get into the era of VR, augmented reality, and the 3D stuff is not gonna be that easy to replace with AI either, because there is a level of refinement and a level of interaction that is not easy to just do with the current tools of AI. Now, what I see happening is that you're gonna be able to essentially go in a software and through the AI part of the software, ask the software to do something for you. And you don't even have to necessarily know the ins and outs of the software as we did in the past, or as we are still doing now. because the software is gonna do it for you. Look at coding. I can literally ask Chat GPT to write a script for me. Now, it's true that if I rely on that, I don't know scripting, but does that even matter if ultimately that result is good? Well, it matters because you want to supervise the quality of that output. And so in the future, what we're going to see, in my opinion, is a lot more people that will sort of like art direct the AI slash the production, and less people so technically specialized in little tasks, so that essentially you're gonna have to have supervisors that make those products work, because ultimately somebody has to review the AI stuff and somebody has to direct the AI stuff. So you're gonna want to be in a place where you know how to create good images, you know how to create good products, you know how to make something stand out. And this is a process that takes time, and it's a process that you learn by doing stuff and learning how to do stuff. So I cannot really answer the question, should you go into visual effects or 3D animation right now, because that depends on you. You have to decide what is it that gives you joy, and then go and do it. You cannot limit yourself based on what people say. You have to actually expand your vision and analyze the pros and the cons. And if you really want to do something, you will see that the cons will not bother you, because you want it so bad that you are willing to go through those cons. Now, when you are young, a lot of times you don't analyze these cons properly. And so it's good to have a mentor or somebody that can really open your eyes and explain you, hey, if you do this, it means that you will have to deal with this, this, and this. And it's important to be open-minded and humble, because there are a lot of things that you don't know and that you haven't seen or experienced yet. And there are things that you will not know until you live them. And so taking somebody's experience into consideration and being able to actually talk to somebody that can help can be a lifesaver, literally, because can prevent you from doing stupid mistakes. But acting in fear is the worst thing that you can do. In my life, that I like to say I've lived fully, I have made a lot of mistakes when acting in fear. When you act in fear, it means that you start panicking and you don't know if what you're doing is wrong or correct, but you are worried about it. And when you think in this way, you are actually limiting the spectrum of possibilities that you can call into your life. And instead, what you want to do is focusing on you becoming better than most, on you becoming the best version of yourself. I am so tired of reading that you are enough, you are good enough. No, you are not, because you have potential to become more than you are now. If you start with this mindset that you are good enough now, then what's the point of becoming better? Then you might as well just sit down on a couch and don't do anything for the rest of your life. Progress is what gives you happiness and joy, and doing what you love is what you will cherish in your life. So do not throw that away, because it's very important that you do something that you love. So ultimately, whatever you decide to do, make sure that you put all of you into it. I would argue that is a matter of life and death, because you have the power of choosing something that can give you joy or can give you misery. And people underestimate that. Now, some people are not as driven as other people. They just are content and they just want to get some money and just live a simple life, and they don't really care about that. They have hobbies, they do that instead, and they don't mind to do something that they are not really passionate about. And thank God for that, because that is also an important part of our society. But if you are joining an industry that is highly competitive, that is difficult to get into, that is also facing a shrinking productivity cycle, then you might as well be really focused and really going fully into it. Get all the energy into one thing, go for it, and don't ever look back. I am one person amongst many that did not have the chances of easily obtaining what he wanted, but I always moved forward to it. No matter what came to me, I kept moving forward. And I'm not trying to brag here. I'm trying to tell you that there will be difficult times and difficult situations, but the important part is not to avoid that, is to stand up for yourself and go towards the obstacles and learn how to overcome it. This is what makes you stronger, better, and finally makes you reach your goals. Surely is not complaining on a LinkedIn post that things are too hard. It's about time that we stop having this scarcity mindset and we start putting some positivity in this world. I see so many students that are down, that are upset, that are sad, that are uncertain. Remember that if you are in a creative industry, what you do it because it gives you a pleasure in a sense, right? You create an image, you look at it, I'm satisfied. There is passion involved. It's not just the mere, I create an image because I get money, or I do this because I get money. So there is a feeling, there is a return that you get by creating new things, more things, better things, and progressing into making yourself better at what you do. So even if AI takes away the jobs that we are doing, there is still that component in your life. And that component is really what makes the difference, because it's something that is well inside of yourself. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Go into becoming the best version that you can become, and then you will find that things are always converging for you. Evaluate what you have to do to reach your goals, your dreams, and then just go for it. Whatever happens, remember that will make you a better person if you go over it. There's a great book that you should read. It's called The Deep by Seth Godin, and I think it really explains this concept that whatever you do in life, you have a dip that you have to go through. So you start, and then there is this massive mountain to climb. But then if you go back, you never actually become any better. If you push through and you go over the mountain, then you can look behind you and you can say to yourself, I have made it. That is what builds confidence. It's the only thing that builds confidence. It's all about achieving one goal after the other and then ultimately building what you want. Make a plan. Don't fall in love with that plan, because life is difficult and things happen. But have a plan and try to go for what you want. Sit down, write what you want, and if you are all in one way or the other, you will achieve that. I promise. The reason why people sometimes do not achieve what they want is because they don't put enough work, or because they are not focused on that one thing. They are distracted. And that's where having a mentor or somebody you trust that has achieved what you wanted to do, it's always good to have in your lives. This was a little bit of a philosophical video. I'm gonna start recording more and give you more content to try to help the young artists to succeed in this industry and get better at what they do. But for the time being, I would like to hear your thoughts about all of that. So feel free to leave a comment down below and let's have an open conversation and let me know what are your fears. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.